This episode of SpongeBob SquarePants, often referred to by fans as the Hat episode, is one of those rare moments when the show blends its usual absurdity with a deeper sense of irony and self-awareness that makes it memorable. At the centre of the episode is a seemingly simple concept, a hat. SpongeBob innocently stumbles upon this goofy, worn-out hat. Nothing too special, right? But that's where the absurdity starts to pile up. What makes this episode so effective is how the characters' personalities come through in such exaggerated ways, especially SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs. Mr. Krabs' obsession with money is on full display here. I mean, when isn't it? But this time, he takes it to a whole new level. He becomes absolutely fixated on this random hat SpongeBob has, which, in typical Krabs fashion, he discovers is valuable, not for what it represents to him, but for what it represents to someone else. It's this kind of character consistency that gives the episode its sense of humour. Krabs isn't interested in the sentimental or historical value of the hat, just the potential payday that comes with it. In many ways, this exaggerated obsession is a commentary on consumer culture, how something can go from junk to treasure simply based on someone else's desire for it. Now, let's talk about the moment. The name Smitty Rebenjagamanjansen is iconic. What started as a ridiculous, made-up name for SpongeBob, who, by the way, thinks he's just being his usual silly self, turns into the reveal that this person was, in fact, real. Smitty was number one. The entire plot hinges on this moment, where something meant as a joke becomes a real, tangible fact. The episode plays with this idea of the absurd becoming real. It's almost like the universe in SpongeBob bends to the characters' will, turning their wildest ideas into truth. It's both hilarious and a little unsettling, because suddenly we're in this space where anything the characters say can manifest into reality. SpongeBob's innocence is contrasted beautifully with Mr. Krabs' greed. SpongeBob never quite understands why this hat is such a big deal. He just likes it because it's a fun hat. It's a nice reflection of his simple, optimistic view of the world, where things are appreciated for what they are, not to their value. And in a way, this is part of what makes the show's humour so timeless. SpongeBob's purity often highlights the absurdity of the world around him. Mr. Krabs, though, is a different story. The way he manipulates SpongeBob, taking advantage of his innocence, is kind of dark when you really think about it. Krabs isn't just trying to get the hat. He's willing to go to extreme lengths, even digging up a grave. The lengths he's willing to go reflect just how far greed can drive a person. The show doesn't shy away from showing this side of Mr. Krabs, but it still manages to make it funny, partly because Krabs' antics are always so over the top. Then there's the irony. The phrase, "he was number one," gets repeated over and over, to the point where it becomes almost like a mantra in the episode. The irony is that Smitty, this long-forgotten figure, really was number one, but not in the way anyone expected. He's not remembered for some great accomplishment. He's remembered because SpongeBob stumbled upon his hat. It's this kind of layered humour that makes the episode more than just a series of gags. There's something subtly philosophical about the idea that someone's legacy can be boiled down to an object, something as random as a hat. And let's not forget the final moments of the episode, which tie everything together in a fittingly bizarre way. Mr. Krabs' single-minded pursuit of wealth leads him to a place of genuine absurdity, and SpongeBob, being SpongeBob, remains blissfully unaware of the stakes throughout the entire ordeal. It's a fitting contrast, the greedy man chasing after something he believes is valuable, while the innocent character simply enjoys life for what it is. In the end, this episode highlights the show's brilliance in taking mundane, everyday items or situations and turning them into a playground for deeper themes. Whether it's exploring the nature of greed, the randomness of legacy, or the fine line between absurdity and reality, this episode does it with humour and heart. It's episodes like these that remind us why SpongeBob SquarePants endures, because beneath the laughter, there's always a hint of something more.